Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Burning Down the House with Jacob. That's me, I'm Jacob. Today we are going to be redoing the episode that we promised to redo because I kind of made a few mistakes that were seemingly small but ended up really making it not look all that great. It tasted fine. It looked really strange. So we are going to be redoing that today. So today we are going to be showing everyone how to make the Bacon Cheeseburger Roll. Bacon Cheeseburger Roll. We are also going to be adding some mushrooms, and we'll get to that when we get on with the ingredients list. Alrighty, and now for the ingredients. You will need at least 2 pounds of ground beef. You can also use ground turkey if you want, if you make your meatloaf that way. It's basically, you're making a meatloaf that you're going to stuff and roll. That's basically what the entire dish is. So you need 2 pounds of ground beef, at least. If you use more, that's fine. If you have the room to roll it out, that's fine. You could use more. The ground beef, you need to make sure it's at a consistent thin layer, and that way it'd be easy enough for everything to be rolled up. So keep that in mind when you are deciding how much meat that you are going to be using. Now, of course, you'll also need some tomatoes, at least 1 or 2. However many that you use is completely up to you. You see the amount that I have here. I probably will not use all of this, but I will come fairly close. So you'll need at least 1 onion, and all these are sliced up thinly. And I sliced up about 5 or 6 small baby bella mushrooms. Now I may or may not use all of them. It will just have to wait and see. You'll also need a package of American cheese. Because, hey, what goes on a cheeseburger other than American cheese? And you will need a package of bacon. Now, you could use turkey bacon if you like. I have used it. It works fine. And this time we are going to be using regular premium sliced bacon. You will also need parchment paper, which you will see when we get over to this part over here. And if at all possible, if you have one, a rolling pin. That is like very helpful. Now, I personally don't have one right at the moment. We were looking for one here in northern Florida. They seem to just don't like rolling pins because we couldn't find one anywhere. But we are going to use the next best thing, and I'll get on to that when we get to that point. Alrighty then, now, first thing that we are going to do is we are going to flatten out the ground beef. Now, you remember what I said we'd be using the next best thing because I don't have a rolling pin right at the moment? Well, we're going to use a poor man's rolling pin, and that is a coffee mug. We're going to be using my Winnie the Pooh coffee mug. So basically, the whole procedure with this, you use the outside surface of your coffee mug, and you basically flatten everything out that will fit on the parchment paper, because trust me, you do not want to try to roll this out without using parchment paper. It can get messy, it'll stick to stuff, you're going to be wanting to like pull it up off of there, to be able to get it to roll anyway. Just trust me, get parchment paper, you're going to need it, you will thank me. So basically, this is what we do. I so wish we had counter space to be able to do this a lot easier, but we don't. And you're going to want to flatten this out to be maybe 1/4 inch thick or so. Maybe a 1/4 inch thick. I mean, I do this in a cookie sheet so that I know about where the limit lines should be. But be careful, because your parchment paper will slide around a little bit when you start getting everything thinned out. And you don't want that happening, because if that happens, then you don't know where your limits are. So you just want to do your best, get it flattened out. And you'll see what I'm doing here. I'm holding the edge of the parchment paper with the edge of the cookie sheet so that it doesn't slide around. That would be what I would suggest that you do if you're unfamiliar with the poor man's method of rolling out stuff when you don't have a rolling pin. A lot nicer if you do have a rolling pin, because this would take all of about 30-45 seconds.
One eternity later.
Alrighty then. Okay, that's about all that we're gonna need. You want to any of your edges that have popped up, to get that put down. And about the time you get to this point, when you got everything flattened down in your pan, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. That just happens to be where our oven starts, 350. So, hey, that works. Okay. First thing you're going to want to do, if you want to put any kind of salt, pepper, any other seasonings, you want to do that right here at this point, because you've got it all flat and it's just easier just to, just season everything all over that. I am going to lightly salt the meat. Want to be giving us all high blood pressure or anything, or heart trouble, or anything like that. You can do the pepper dance, garlic powder, because everybody loves garlic powder. And if you don't love garlic powder, you should. And like I said, if you want to add anything else, any other kind of herbs, spices, whatever, feel free. Now then, do your best not to slice any fingers open, because that would be really, really bad. And this is probably the point where this probably takes the longest. Now, you don't want to get your cheese right up to the edge. Don't do that. That's part of where I made a big boo-boo last time we did this. I got the cheese all the way up to the edge, everywhere. I had like almost 2 full packages of cheese on the thing. And it was just like, it looked great, but it did not. I mean, it looked great when I was doing it, when I was putting it together. It did not look great when I was done. After it came out of the oven, oh, it did not look great. Not at all. So what it's looking like is that we are going to be able to put on here 8 pieces. Just the way that I have everything flattened out. And just so that you can see, got 8 pieces there. We simply are going to add in the mushrooms, onions, and tomatoes. Now, like I said, we are not necessarily going to be using all of these. We'll use some, maybe even most, but not necessarily all of them. And yes, I knew when I was slicing everything up that I was slicing up more than I was going to end up using. But the reason that I went ahead and did it anyway is because it is always nicer to have more than what you need than it is to not have enough and run out and be going, oh no, I need more. Now you can put a little on the edges, don't go crazy, because like I said, that was my mistake last time. And you see, that is really all the mushrooms I need, and look at how many I have left. When you're done and you have stuff left over, all you're going to do is throw them in either your food storage containers or Ziploc bags, or whatever you use to put leftover stuff in. And also, this kind of has to go by your personal taste. I know some of you out there are probably going to skip the onions altogether, and that's fine. You don't have to have them, because you want to put on here most of what you would put on a cheeseburger. Most, not everything. One of the mistakes that I made last time, I overdid it with the lettuce and went crazy with it, and it was just too much. And the oven is preheated. It beat me to it. I'm surprised. Alrighty. And now, the tomatoes.
A few minutes later.
This is actually how it's going to look before you roll it up. Now, if you want to add extra, you may. However, let me warn you, and please take this warning to heart, because if you watched the last time that I tried this on camera, the end result, it was not pretty. It was really bad, and one of the big reasons that caused that was that I overstuffed it. We are not doing that a second time. Okay, now then, the way that you will roll this up, you will take it from one end and get the roll started just like this. You have to make sure to pull your parchment paper back out of the way, because if you don't, you are going to wind up with parchment paper inside your roll, and you don't want that. You can't eat this stuff. Now, if that happens, like what just happened with mine, you can either unroll it and go again, or you can start from the other end, or you could just kind of try to fix that tear a little bit. Because you can always take a little bit from the side and patch that up a little. Not too much, because your sides still need it. But your sides are not having to roll up all this stuff. Now then, to when you get about halfway, you're going to want to grab it, pull it towards you, so that you can still keep going. Now then, what you want to do with the ends, you want to try to seal them up, because if you don't, you could very well have leakage like what I had happen last time, and you don't want that happening again. Try to take a little bit off of the ends, a very little bit. Don't go crazy with it. If you have any tears or seams that are opening up, you want to seal that. Oh, no you don't. Oh, no you don't. And this, if you see right here, this right here, you see this line? That is the line that started the entire roll. That's where you end up at. I know last time, I debated on this last time before I actually put this in the oven. The last episode, the last time that we tried this, I debated on whether or not to do this, and I ended up putting the bacon on immediately and putting it all in the oven at the same time. However, I knew that could very well be problematic, and so this time I'm not going to do that right away, because the bacon itself really only needs 20 to 30 minutes. And then it's done. And because I'm using regular bacon, then what's going to happen is all that bacon fat and bacon grease that tastes oh so good, what it's going to do is it's going to basically kind of, run down over the ground beef, and that kind of, leads to stuff with the ground beef, causing it basically to break up a little bit, and it kind of not really looking like the rolled up beauty it's supposed to look like. So, what we are going to do, this will go on, the entire thing has to basically cook for about 45 minutes to an hour. So, what I am going to do is in about 25 minutes, I am going to pull this out of the oven, and then I'm going to put all this on like it's supposed to be, and then put it back in for the rest of the time, and then that way the bacon will cook on top of the roll like it's supposed to, and then everything should be just fine. So, right now, this is going in the oven. And then, when that's all done, in 20-25 minutes, then we'll come back and we'll go from there and finish.
20 minutes later.
Hello, and we're back. And this is the shape of things right now. I did go ahead and I took a spoon and I did spoon out a lot of the hamburger grease that was already starting to pull around the edges and stuff. It just makes it a lot safer later when you pull the whole thing out again, or when I'm putting it back in. It just makes it safer to do that, and that way you won't run the possibility of getting grease all over your hands. Now we are going to put the bacon on. Okay. And basically, you just need what you're going to want to do is you're going to basically want to cover up each side and the top. It's basically, with a roll this small the way that I did it, what you're going to have is you're going to have about, I would say probably close to half of the bacon itself is going to be able to be pulled back over. But just do your best. You just basically just want to cover it up. You know, just to basically put the bacon over it. Because like I said, this is going to go back in now after I get this all on there. Not all of it, but stuff that we need just to cover it. It's going to go back into the oven for another 25 minutes when we are done. Now, like I was saying with, you know, the other ingredients, the onions and mushrooms and the tomatoes, you will not need probably all of this. But get it all covered up like that. I always put one across the top like that. And I only ended up using about half of the package. Well, maybe not quite half, almost half. Okay, so we are going to put this back in for another 25 minutes. Still at 350 because we didn't do anything with the oven itself. And in 25 minutes we will pull it out and hopefully everything will be good. So we'll see you in 25.
20 minutes later.
Hello, and we're back. And the timer just went off. I just took this out of the oven. And this is basically what it looks like when it's all done and you don't have, you know, mountains of cheese going out in all directions like we did last time. Didn't have that happen this time. Reason for that. Okay, so basically what we're going to do now is we are going to cut a piece off just so that Michael can have a piece of it and he can tell us what he thinks of the end result.
Yum. Is there ketchup?
There is.
Okay. I almost want to put this in a hamburger bun. Looks delicious. Oops. Look, bacon.
Alrighty, so we have successfully done what the recipe was supposed to do this time. So anyway, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to put them in the comments below the video. We do actually read them whenever somebody wants to say something. But otherwise, if you like the video, you could like the video, and you could also do the old like, subscribe, notification, click on the little bell. Okay, I hate it when people say that because they usually do it at the very beginning. I don't. I usually don't even say it. But hey, it would be nice. You know, we do put work into the channel. So anyway, join us next time. I'm not quite sure what we're doing next time just yet, but we'll be doing something. So have fun.